You might not like this one, but too bad. You might not like it initially, yet for those who can hear this, you're going to like it because it's going to explain why New Year's resolutions don't work.
First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one.
While America's infrastructure.
We fought for moral reasons. We stood up for what was right.
This nation will rise up.
Let's look at this. Over the past 5 years, have you set New Year's resolutions? Right around this time of the year, you go and you set some sort of goal or a list of New Year's resolutions. And then how many of those have you actually followed through on? Like, for real. Look at this. Why has it not happened? Why would you expect it to be any different this year? It's because you maybe feel a little different. Maybe you feel a little bit more motivated. Newsflash, your feelings are irrelevant in terms of getting your goal. I mean, if you're depressed and you don't feel good at all, yeah, you're not going to achieve a goal. But even if you feel good about it, you think you feel good about it, that also doesn't matter. What do we do about this then? Are we just doomed? Can none of us achieve our New Year's resolutions? No, I achieved mine last year. The year before that, I achieved them too. And I know this upcoming year, I'm going to achieve them as well. But I also put in the work every day. But guess what? It's not enough to just put in the work every day. Or a lot of people think, oh, if I'm just consistent, put in the work, put in the effort, and I just go long enough, I'm bound to succeed. No, because I know a lot of people who are janitors and they work very hard and they're consistent every day at being a janitor. And 20, 30, 40 years into their career, they're still a janitor, right? They never arise to becoming a millionaire. For some people, that might be what they want to do, is be a janitor. But for those of you who want to go beyond just where you're currently at in terms of your money, income, happiness, wealth, relationships, living situation, all of that, pay attention, right? If you want to go beyond, pay attention. If you don't want to go beyond, stop watching this video. Don't watch my other videos. New Year's resolutions don't work because, first and foremost, they're just something that's in your conscious mind. That part of your mind that's aware of the fact that you're watching this video. You're listening to the words that I'm saying, right? Maybe you notice there's windows in the background, right? There's a couch right there, and I'm wearing glasses, right? That part of your mind. That's a very, very limited part of our mind. Like, really, you're filtering out so much information. You're basically seeing less than 1% of what's actually going on in reality right now. So when you have a New Year's resolution, even if you write it down, right? You could even write it down multiple times because you think, oh, it'll help you remember it. Guess what? My guess is over the past 5 years, you wrote down your New Year's resolutions anyway. Didn't work, right? Because that information isn't getting in to the unconscious mind, right? To that muscle memory part of yourself. So, second, the reason that New Year's resolutions don't work is because the fact that you're setting New Year's resolutions really anyway. It's like, why aren't you just setting goals every single week and then integrating them into your unconscious mind so then you can act on them? Why does the new year need to be a time for that? Granted, it is helpful to look at this time of the year and to reflect on the past year and to look ahead at the new year. Sure, you can do that. But if you're looking at this time of the year to be the only time where you're going to make a big change, tough luck. It's not going to work because it's not part of you. It's not part of your character to look at every day as a new day, right? Every day as a new experience, right? That is also key, right? So that's a big indicator that we've got to see every day, every moment as this new opportunity. I know that sounds cliche, but in actuality, right, the only time that we have is the present. And in this moment, you can make a decision, but also if you don't have the right tools to get that decision and that information into yourself so you can build yourself up from the inside out, it ain't going to really change. So, in conclusion, right, let's look at this. Yes, we can set a New Year's resolution, or 5, but that information is not getting in, so that's resonating from you, right? And that's where you would use a tool, specifically TechnoTutor, to do that. Then, once you're able to do that, though, and if you do have TechnoTutor, as I know a lot of you do who are watching, right, put in your New Year's resolutions, but then that's also not enough. You got to then go build the vocabulary of how to make things happen. Such as, for example, let's say this year you want to get a six-pack for whatever reason, right? You think that's a symbol of being healthy. You got to then build the vocabulary of how to do that. Like at an unconscious level, you have to understand enough about workouts, exercise, how to eat, what to do in a typical week. You have to build that vocabulary, and then you have to go live it. Let's say you want to make $1 million this year for the first time. All right, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to build a business to do that. You can't just focus on the money. There's a whole vocabulary of business that then creates that money. Or maybe you want a relationship, right? Over the past year, my wife Jessica and I have had our first year of marriage. It's been wonderful. And part of that is building the vocabulary of how do we check in with each other? How do we spend quality time together? How do I support her? How does she support me? How do I let go of my reactions at that automatic unconscious level? So I'm not reacting to her. She's not reacting to me. We're just here together. So that's all vocabulary. And I know a lot of us might think, oh, vocabulary is just words. Well, yes and no. Like vocabulary is really how you understand reality, how you operate in reality. If you want your life to change, you have to change your vocabulary. Really, you have to change what you're able to do and understand. Because then when you have that knowledge and you know what to do and then you act differently, obviously you'll get a different result. And obviously that's what's necessary to get your New Year's resolution to become true. So use this time, right? Set some New Year's resolutions. But if you aren't getting that through TechnoTutor into the unconscious mind, it's not going to work, or it's going to require so much effort, and you're going to go so slow with it. So do you want to go the slow way? That may or may not even work. Or do you want to go the rapid way? That is surefire to work. Because as long as you use the tools and you build your vocabulary and your understanding of what to do, it's inevitable you'll hit your goals. Your goals might shift a little bit, but to make $1 million this year isn't that hard when you have the vocabulary. Right? To have a thriving relationship this year isn't that hard if you have the vocabulary. Or to get your health where you want it to be. It's not that hard if you have the vocabulary. But if you don't have that vocabulary at an unconscious, automatic, instant level, where it's like you literally don't have to think, it's just right there, and you know what to do every day, and then you act on that and you apply that, that is how you ensure 2022 is the best year yet. And you'll hit all your resolutions, right? You'll keep setting goals. You'll go beyond that so that by this time next year, you're looking back and you're saying, wow, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I acted differently. So, choice is yours, but that's what I'm doing. All the successful people that I know, that's what we're doing. We're using TechnoTutor. We're applying ourselves. And then through that, we're living this awesome life. And it's not enough for just us to live an awesome life, right? Because that's just self-interest and that's ego. We're creating this for ourselves and for our families and our communities so that this will ripple out into the world. You're going to see a lot now in 2022 and beyond in terms of global impact that we're doing. And I suggest join us. It's the most fun thing that I've ever done. My guess is it's going to be the most fun thing you've ever done. In fact, I know it is. So with that being said, stay tuned, right? Participate. Keep watching the videos. I'm going to have a lot more content coming out in the new year. And let's just get real honest about New Year's resolutions, right? And how to actually follow through on them. It's more than just a conscious mind thing. You can't just set the goals and write them down. You got to change that unconscious mind. And when you do that, it is remarkable what's possible. I mean, I could make a freaking 3-hour video on all the stories that I've heard over the past year alone of people that have saved marriages, getting financial freedom, paid off in 6 figures in debt, like just ridiculous stories from myself, my colleagues, all sorts of people from all walks of life, all because they use the tools, they use them consistently. By the tools, I mean specifically TechnoTutor. They do it consistently, they stay plugged into the community, and we're honest about what it takes to actually achieve the goals. So if you want to achieve your goals for real, reach out. You can find a time in my calendar in the link below. It's in the description. And I look forward to connecting more with people who are really moving, because it's really fun to see. It's very, very fun to be surrounded by people who are moving, and the invitation's open. So stay tuned and let's connect. Hey everyone, so I don't sponsor my videos at all, but I do like to at least say, for those who resonate with the message that I share, I do offer both personal mentorship as well as business mentorship. In personal life, I've made a lot of moves over the past few years. Now I have a beautiful wife, homestead, and all of that. In terms of business, I have One of my companies went from 3K to 30K a month in profit, as well as I have another business that I'm at over 150K this year in investments and things like that. So if that resonates and you want to actually make a positive impact with that type of money, just reach out, send me a message, and we'll chat.